Can I explain to you my aim? Greetings.
Yeah. Well,
And
we're we're live now. Welcome everybody to TPIM SR Live. This is your host, True Powers Mine. I have a very special guest from France today, Sister Konyah. To your last name's hard for me to pronounce. To
Konyah.
okay, got it. Where's the video? Oh, okay, there you are. All right. You're a graphic designer. Can you just tell everybody just a little bit about yourself?
Yes, I use the graphic design to represent um, subject of born in slavery, in bondage, uh, called runaway and Cimarron Maroons, to highlight some people and to highlight to the territory they're from and which people, indigenous people, lives before the slavery. Uh, I say America.
So you're talking about like the Olmecs people, the Aztecs, the Mayans, the native peoples to North America in general.
Um, I show you for for my graphic design and
Yes,
explain at the same time. We know there is slavery,
right.
but who is not um, enough learn to the young generation and to us and to their own parents and grandparents is people who fight for freedom.
Yes, freedom fighters.
Voila, freedom fighters. They came from Africa. They say Christopher Columbus is discovered America, but before Columbus, there are some people came from Africa. They use boats, very um, powerful to
Yes.
see to go from Africa to the continent America. Yeah,
Yeah.
and in the we can call that part of um, of the world the West Hemisphere.
Or they called it the
That
West Indies.
the West Indies, the West Hemisphere, and in the country we want we don't know because we come from some of them live the same story and the same background, slavery, and we have a lot of common points um, and a lot of problematics today because slavery.
Right.
Mm.
Because of the
I can't find some solution. It's just to remind people has to remind freedom fighters and have to be learned.
we have
Then in my graphic design, I just to remind, try to remind because it's not my job, it's not my I'm not professional, but I have a great interest to 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 learn and to develop a myth,
right.
a
Debunk
lack
the
of
myths.
something in their history. Yeah. So I began with that posters.
Yes, that's the Olmec head. And
It's called the Black Civilization in the Old America,
wow.
and they come from um, to Africa to build in the America territory in South, for example, others identity, others people like Aztec civilization, Maya civilization. They have a lot of common
Culture.
points with Africa in the spirituality. It was not a book who explained which spirituality.
So
This is the first. Yeah.
they had
And
like their own Bible.
yeah, I can't, I have, I say, I was too focused on them, but in the part of history, in the moment of history, they give us other spirituality, and um, we forget the background.
So we forget the ancient ways,
Sorry.
the old time ways, the ways that they used to follow. I thought that those people like were more into nature than to.
Yes, exactly, exactly. With the Indian or Amerindian, population, they live with nature and they have some tradition. Um, all people in the Caribbean, like Jamaica, uh, in general West Indies, the first indigenous people who live there, who born there, is Arawak, Tainos, Carib, Kalina, Kalinago. In the north, you have others, and in the south, you have others. This is the first inhabitant people, and there is Sevry. I want to focus on Cimarron, and in that part of the time of the world came others people, African people with slavery.
Mm.
And now this is the second part. People who fight Cimarron, Maroon, and they became very important for their country, for their own country, because they know their history and they fight for liberty because
And freedom.
they call them Maroons. A famous in Jamaica is Nani. She from Ghana. Uh, they kidnapped people in Africa and they arrived with a friend, with a brother, three brothers or four brothers, I don't remember, in Jamaica like slaves.
Wow.
And with the fight, they this is Jamaica. They create or they survive and create two Maroons camp. One called Motown and the second called Nanny Town in the mountains, and there was a refuge, a shelter when slavery escaped.
Wow. And this
Yes,
happened all in
and
Jamaica.
I try my aim, try to put together a lot of fighting people, freedom fighters in each country. It's the same in Guadeloupe. The name is Solitude is famous, and in English, yeah, islands.
Frederick Douglass.
There are more details. You find more details of your history than French colony.
Now, why is that?
Mhm.
Why do you find more history in English colonies than French colonies?
Yes, you have a lot of books because my research is come from the books because I can't travel to visit that country. But you have a lot of sources of documents in English language than French language. But maybe the explanation maybe would French West Indies were smaller than great uh, islands like Jamaica or Cuba.
That is true as far as land
Yeah,
mass.
voila. And the place is big, large, more the Marons were active.
So, does France owe these country reparations?
You ask me about reparations, and I say I don't do politics,
Okay.
and yeah, and it is politics or activists in politics for the rights, human rights,
Mm-hmm.
or black rights, or Indian rights, you know, who can answer you.
Got you.
Mm, I can't. Reparation is not very smaller, and I think a lot of people today look for their story by books, by movie. My work is very small, you know. My
Right.
work is very small. My sources, uh, I am in a sorry,
It's
in a
okay.
Facebook group, and one of the people who founded that group um, live in Suriname, and they live their Maroon tradition, and they know who who in their family they can uh, give you some details about um, who is their grandfather and grandfather and grandfather.
Wow.
Hmm.
Now,
Yeah, Jamaica too is like that. There is some places they get during slavery period, who explain to you they have get lands, slavery, runaways, of course, runaways. They they get lands 100 100 year before the abolition of slavery, because they fight, and it was very seriously in Brazil. They do a republic with it's like a church, it's like a town with your king or your I don't know, say director at that time,
the
but
mayor.
with chief, yeah. And it was very seriously with politics, with the governor of that country, Dutch people, English people, and they comprehend the the um, the, the meaning of to negotiate with that kind of people.
Hmm.
Yeah, to get lands, their lands. And today we have in Suriname, you have in Jamaica, Dominica, Saint Vincent, Grenade, in the West Indies islands. Some people, some kind of black people, who know their history, they have their language, they have their mind of spirit.
They had
They
their
call
own
them
culture.
Maroons. Then, in fact, when you have to hear the name of Maroon, you have to hear many meanings, not one just run away. Is that um, I comprehend, I understand for myself. Was
Yes.
at the beginning of my work. There is 4 years ago. Runaway, I would like to fight people who rebellion, insurrection, you know, uh,
Warriors of
uh,
freedom.
yeah, warrior, yeah, yeah, to fight for the freedom.
Yes.
And after you understand when they fight for the freedom of black people, they fight for the freedom of human.
Right. For all humanity.
Hmm. Oui, oui. And they come and they became, because you have to um, to to not to live, but not to remind, but to feel the context, and say if they became a writer for some of people, maybe you know Frederick Douglass.
Yes.
Voilà. Frederick Douglass. When I read, and my sources is just for the moment read, I can travel, I can, voilà. Um, they explain to you uh,
Their life.
very deeply, uh, the sense, the meaning of freedom and emancipation.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
not just to survive.
It's to
And
thrive.
yeah, yeah, it's very deep. It's very, very, very interesting. So he was a Maron too, and he was in south of America like slave, and he escaped, and he go to the north of America because there is two kind of I think you are very you live there, so
Yes, there was two different cultures. There was the northern so-called
yes,
free and the southern
yes.
enslaved.
Hmm.
But it hasn't been very pleasant for most of us in North America, even to this day. There's a lot
Hmm.
of hate in America towards people with melanization, black folk. There's a growing number of people that basically want us, for lack of better words, dead.
Yeah.
But these people had the same problem. There's always been hate, and it's only through working together, coming up with real solutions, and having a real plan of action.
Hmm.
That's what the Maroons did. That's what the Seminoles did. Some of the older cultures should have done that, like the Olmecs and the Mayans and Aztecs and them. This is what happens when you are not prepared. Oh, Sojourner Truth. This is what happens when you're not
Yeah.
prepared.
Yeah.
It's
Listen to you.
so Napoleon, was he was the Emperor of France, Napoleon Bonaparte. Was he a
Yeah.
friend to black people, or was he cruel to black folks?
Yeah. Napoleon is was a Corse. He was from a highlands in France, and he became the emperor of governor of Martinique, and he get married, he did a wedding with a daughter of mulat, not nigger, not with slavery, a girl from slavery, but he married with a Madininian girl,
So she
but
was
she
like
was a
black,
mulat because there was
mulatto,
some class, some you know.
wealth in her bloodline.
She doesn't was a slave woman, and she
Huh.
married with him, and he give him a castle in France, you know.
Wow.
So yeah.
I didn't know that
Mhm.
about him.
Yes, 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 yes. And you have like a museum when you go to Martinique. Then it's for that reason I say, when I will to explain to you, uh, two kind of mine I found now. It was in Martinique, in my French, because we are French, Guadeloupe, Guyane, in my French highlands. I can't say French islands, we are Caribbean islands. But for people who rule,
Right. It's French.
people who rule, my president is Monsieur Macron. And in my country, there is a rule. Then people don't do like they want.
Right.
Yeah, but it's politics, then I don't do it. That is just to and you have when you go to Jamaica, I think in the 20th to 23rd June, in that time, in the June of 2019, there is the Festival of Maroon in Jamaica, and then I think it's the 11th Festival of Maroon, and you can check it in Facebook. Then there is some of place you are in the globe in the earth when you are black man. If
Right.
your country decides to highlight French history, or if your country decides to highlight Maroons,
Huh.
yeah. And in that book, I bought in USA or by internet, sometimes free books, or there is a lot of details of French West Indies in the English language and in French with writers we have in Madinina. We don't find details about Maroons. Is not a subject of people want to talk or conscience what they do for us for our freedom, and they were forget in the history. So my work is really focused on it, on them.
But that
Mm.
is
by
history. That's
in
real
using
history.
in using art design. It's just culture. My work is culture. It's not politics.
Right.
Culture.
Because
Yeah.
politics gets it gets
But
everything
it's
off.
conscience. It's like a conscience but have no solution. So
Right.
I you know
Now, what
yeah.
would be a solution to some of the
Mm.
problems in the Caribbean islands? To give back the land to the people, or what's some of the solutions?
I say people are separated. I say I say that because in Jamaica, when you do the independence of Jamaica from abolished slavery, is that date. In France, they decide is the 10th of May.
Mm-hmm.
Politics. In the 10th of May, they decide this is the date of the abolish slavery to celebrate that date. But in reality, it's the 22 of May or 23 of May in Martinique, Guadeloupe. Voila, you can't decide.
Huh.
Mm.
So, do you ever
In
see?
uh, in Guadeloupe, it's the same. There is a date. À La Réunion Islands, there is a date. But in fact, when you analyze, there is a lot of African people, millions of African people kidnapping in Africa to 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 sell. They sold the men in America
Right.
in plantations, and today all country they submit that fact, or all country they use and to get rich. And you talk about reparation, but I'm not sorry. Well,
Right.
uh, we have the same problem. We have the same background. you
Man.
know, and more widely, or not widely, complete for all people, global, for global Afro descendants, is the same problems
It is all over the world, in India,
all over the
in
world.
Africa itself, in the America. But
Yeah.
I think if we somehow could change our focus and start building business and trading with one another, we can see everybody's life gets a little better.
Mhm. Yes, but we have a global conscience now, I think, and it's interesting to see my work. I didn't want to work about Martinique only because there is a few islands, and the fight were the same all in Caribbean islands, and also in Africa. There is a Maroon town who born during slavery, but the resistance was in Africa.
Right. It all goes back to
Yeah.
Africa.
Yes.
Everything.
Yes. I would show you that uh, that banner that people consider it today. They live in USA. There is there are sorry uh, semi-run semi-run tribe.
Wow.
Yeah, semi-run tribe in USA, because that's people live in USA. They are uh, descendants of the tribe. We see that at the beginning of the indigenous people who are in indigenous people who live in America, and they
Yes.
do some heritage or some alliance
Is that Ambassador
with
Fidelia?
people who came from Africa.
On your picture on the banner?
Yeah, if you
I
see
think
the banner,
I see
yes, if you
Ambassador, the head of the Maroons, the Queen of the Maroons,
yeah, in Suriname,
Fidelia.
Fidelia, yeah.
Yes, Gillum. I had her on the
Mm.
show a couple of months, or no, about 3 weeks ago.
Oh, good.
Yeah, she's an
In that
excellent.
group, hmm okay, because I am in that group, and for explain to you, French West Indies like Madina were from. Then I was to develop all in America the Maroons fighting.
Right.
Uh, they asked me, "Do you feel maroon?" And I said, "Yeah, but I'm a problem because I'm French, West Indies, Martinique, Guadeloupe. It's not really the same. I feel because the West Indies, the English West Indies were free today,
Wow.
and they decide what they want to do. And in that country, then Suriname is what explained Fidelia to me. In that country, Suriname or Saint Vincent of uh, Dominique, Jamaica, Guyana, Belize, there are some people who came with slavery,
Yes.
but they mix with the Indian people and they create an identity and they produce their culture. They live their culture, yeah.
Yeah.
And voila. And this is for them, for her, Fidelia. This is for her, the Maroon in Caribbean area, the culture who keep the African tradition in the Caribbean area. Yeah, Trinidad and Tobago, there are a community, Jamaica, Suriname, Guyana, Belize, Sierra Leone. North America is the Indian, the Semiron tribe, Carriacou, Saint Vincent, Dominique.
Wow.
Mhm. And three of the founder of the uh, Maroon Women Chamber of Cooperative. Uh, I'm a, I just hear them and listen to them because they live in their country a Maroon life. Of what they show, if you want, maybe not all the time, but I think all the time, uh, they they are they try to highlight when they say all the time on the tradition of their ancestors.
Right.
They say the highlights. Voilà, to put and you have some value, to keep some value. with nature, with the first inhabitants, with the people come here, and yeah, it's very
Important. It's
yeah,
very
it's very
important.
important. Yeah, and you have then this is a mix, I say, about country who keep their African tradition with their language, with their art, uh, with their food, music, especially because they came from Africa and mixed with indigenous people. They create that. And for example, in Guyane, you have a part of South America,
Wow.
Guyane, Suriname, Guyana. Then they were colonized Guyana by Dutch, Suriname by Dutch, and Guyana by French.
Man, Dutch
Yeah,
it
and
colonized a
they
lot.
get it's like in Jamaica. They do two camp of Maroon in Guyana, Suriname, and Guyana. You find six tribes and do tribes or population. They call them Bushinenge, Samaka, Juka, Pamaka, Aluku, Matamai, and Kunti, and they never they escape when they arrive in the Suriname or Guyana territory, and they reproduce in the forest their culture, their African culture.
And they did this
And
during slavery?
they live near the river. They use boats, they use pirogues. I don't know pirogue, in English you say pirogue, but the long boat on the river.
Canoe. Canoe in
Voilà, I don't
English.
know. Yeah. And they live they live like that, and they get land 100 years before the abolished slavery in the part of the country they they um,
They
they
did.
keep them, you know.
So they get
And
land. That's
then
what it's
it's,
about. Land.
they call them once again Maroons, but they can today, or not today, now in the part of that the talking we do, Maroons is like Maroon society.
Wow.
Voilà. It's like Maroon society. Then in Guyane, for example, they say they have Creole people. They choose to adopt the culture of the not ancestor but colonisateur, the modern life. No, they forget their past. They don't use some. They don't remember. Yeah, they just modern life.
Right.
They call them Creole, and then they say they have they go to church and but they call them Creole. And when you say Bushinengi, say you do something in forest with nature. It's more deep that your African and Indian culture or territory you live.
Yes.
Yeah, and they call them Bushinengi, and they have. Then it's interesting to see different meaning of Maroon's words.
That is
Of
so
Maroon's words. Yeah. Mm.
fascinating.
Yes, is voilà. At the beginning, I just look for rebellion, etc. Like you say, but now is more than a way of life,
Right.
and a way of life who seem Rastafari movement who want to live in the nature, or other people who want to live in the nature. Uh,
It's healthy.
you know now why Why you want to stay natural? Your mother too. My mother live in West Indies, and she know plants. When you have, uh,
Sickness.
yeah, this is the environment of the people, of the old people, and they know.
They know how to use those plants.
Yes, we
They-
have to um to do to not to do, but to keep when the people live in the country, in the, not in the town, not in the European or west part. We have to. It's very important.
Get back to nature. Get back
Yeah,
to
yeah,
herbs
and
and
it's your education. You know,
yes,
your education, your choice. Uh, because the life is very speed, and and when you look back, your parents, the education they give you, it is not the life, modern life, we live today.
right. The
Yeah.
the modern life we live today is culture of death, destroy and destroy more. We don't
Mm-hmm.
preserve. We don't keep everything right. We cut down
Yeah.
all trees
Mm-hmm.
and mine all ore and abuse people. That's what these corporations do. And that's what you're
Mm-hmm.
talking about, because slavery was a corporate deal as well as a national way of living.
Mm-hmm.
Corporations were the ones who went to Africa and took the slaves and sold them to people in the islands and in America and all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
So we must always remember, uh, corporations. Now, this isn't
Mm-hmm.
political. This is just facts. This is just history. Corporations are the ones who finance or give money to people to harm other people.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah.
So,
And the consequences is the same when you submitted that story, that history. They are the same problem at the same time with the same people.
yes,
When you are in the diaspora, uh,
no money.
bad solution. Yeah. Hmm.
The poor are always
Yeah.
at the disadvantage.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Mm-hmm.
what a lot of us are. And that's why we have to do the research or make the history known, like the work that you're doing,
Mm-hmm.
making all this to show people the history. This is what it's about.
Mm-hmm. Yes, very important. And I continue for that posters. This is the some of people
Do
in
you have a
Jamaica.
website?
This is Gloria Sims. You can see him on a Facebook page, sorry. And she live in Jamaica, and she's a descendant of Maroon. They know they she know their history, and when they do their festival, they don't talk about abolish slavery. They talk about Maroons.
Right.
Yeah, this is like, I think, in USA, when you have some museum. I don't know the USA. I don't go at in that place, but I think it's the same for Rosa Parks today, for Martin Luther King, for you know.
Yes, Martin Luther King,
Mm,
Malcolm X, Rosa Parks.
voila, my comics. Hmm.
Well, he doesn't get so
Yeah.
much play as Martin Luther King gets the most
Hmm.
attention, but that's because he was
Yeah.
nonviolent.
Hmm.
So where are you going to travel next for your work?
The next travel to my mother in Madinina, in vacation with my daughter.
And are you going to be taking pictures or maybe making videos while you're there?
No, I did a video with I did a video just to present some books about Maroon, and at that time I didn't have posters and postcards.
Okay.
And now we are an association. I work with another sister, uh, and we research. We have done a little book of 20 pages. Is not really, but in French, because that's difficult to find the right information in French language. And
Yes.
we translate to have good information.
That sounds.
Hmm. And we did some postcards for the moment, and poster you have see to we have no books about that, but slowly we do some object like postcard like that. I show you about the Caribbean, maroon. Oh, the Caribbean maroon, and each person you can check it and found a story about maroon. So you have Macondal in Haiti. I give you some example. Solitude on Guadeloupe. You have Saramaka is the Maroon people from Guyane, and Zumi Palmarès is they did Republic a really town with governor. They have some treaty. They sign with the enemy to
Hmm.
get lands. Yeah, to get lands, and they get lands, but there is few country, and my aim is to highlight them, to give young people hope to
Yes.
also, you know. Then yeah, I show you maybe it's better there. Then the first postcard is Caraïbe Runaway. The second is Toussaint Louverture. I think you know it. You know him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Haiti.
The third is the Amerindian name of Caribbean island, because before they get Martinique, Guadeloupe, Jamaica, they have other names, Amerindian. Then we did one postcard about it. And the fourth is the last is a logo. Is a logo just to represent solidarity and stay together, or
Unity.
it's symbol. Yeah.
Now, is there any place to on the internet where a person can buy those postcards, or do you sell the postcards?
Yeah, we sell it.
What's the website?
We don't have a website. When we celebrate, like in May,
Right.
uh, we have a stand, and we sell posters, and they have other stands too, huh? Not and we sell posters, and we sell postcards. Yeah,
Oh, okay. So you do it from a
yeah,
booth, from a
yeah.
table. Okay.
Show you there. Mm-hmm.
Well, what about the do you guys have a website, a general website yet?
Yeah, we have a page, Facebook page.
And what is that? So the people, if they
Is
want to check it
is
out.
Création et Kilti, is in Creole language, is Création et Kilti, and all people can find some works or some posters about maroons, some documents, because by internet you found a lot of,
Right.
and sometimes free PDF document. and you can collect. Me, I collect for the moment, and if I found is important, who's they can, I do posters. Yeah,
Yeah,
this is
and
my
you do really good
portfolio.
work.
Yes,
Good
yeah,
work. And
yes.
this is
The moment I
important.
try, I
You
try.
try. You're so humble.
Mhm.
You're too humble.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. So this is the book. This is the the page book. Then I show you in Cuba the war, the rebellion of war, slave war, runaway war. Sorry, the duration is 52 years
Wow.
in Cuba. Yeah, the name. Then I have that book. I have that book. I show you, but it's in French. This, yeah, yeah. I show you. Uh,
Wow.
the title is The Long War of Runaway Niggas or Black of Cuba. And when you see the date, is 1796, from 1796 to 1852.
Wow.
Voila. Then this is the War of Maroons. And if for that reason, we have to do research
Yes.
because there is a lot. And when I read, or that one, you have that one to Cuba too. But more the islands was big, more the Maroons was active. Then in my islands, Martinique is very small, so Maroons can arrive to Martinique because it's very small and voilà. And you
Runaway
have you
slave
have that
settlement.
you have that book is runaway slaves uh, settlements in Cuba, resistance and repression. Donc, I found a lot of books. Là, c'est Maroons, but in Suriname. Suriname.
Wow.
Yeah,
Uh,
you have. And you have, this is an archaeological book about Jamaica. This is, I don't know the word, we say, in Martinique, we say mangrove,
hmm.
but it's like a lake with a lot of trees, a lot of trees, and is not habitat. And that they said the archaeology of Maroons, indigenous Americans, and enslaved laborers in the Great Dismal Swamp. Dismal Swamp is in Martinique we can say mangrove,
Mongrel.
but it's like a lake with tree, you know,
Yeah, a swamp is what we'll probably call that. And
swamp. Yes,
yes.
sorry for my English.
Oh, it's okay. You talk English
Yeah,
better
thank
than I
you,
talk French.
thank you. And you have that book in English, and you find a short story, one in Brazil to explain you the best Brazil people, in another in not Martinique because it's very big, very small. In Brazil, in Jamaica, Suriname, Guyana, and a short story about Maroons, always Maroons.
Mm,
The name is The Cimarrons.
the
Voilà.
Cimarrones.
Yeah. I found two books of Martinique, of my islands. This is a slave's plot because,
1831.
yeah, a plot. Because the mulâtres, mulattoes, so some of uh, descendant of slave master, I can say that, was mulattoes, and they decide to to stop slavery.
Yes.
but their father were white who have plantation, and they have some responsibility of the land of their father. But they decide to stop the slavery, and they put 30 people. Is not very few people, 30 people, and they were arrested by the police of the king, of the governor, I don't know, and they were go away to Africa, and to Le Havre is the town in France who has some boats, and they have condemned to to not to build, but to uh, you are in the boat, and with
Paddle?
your force, yes, with your force, you 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 but no you mean you say money, you don't know. Money, no, I don't know.
So they had
They
like a
put you
sea
in the
battle?
boat. It's like a punishment. They put you in the boat, and you are ramé on the boat all your life during
Oh,
the slavery, and they are mulattoes. Yeah, and they have to explain that. And in that one, this is the sea baron, but sea like SEA. This is the last 30 years in Madinina, in Martinique, and the Marons was very active because the abolition of Haiti was pronounced 40 years ago, and there is very active Maroons in the West Indies, but small West Indies. Voilà,
so
in
this
this
is the
one,
Hades War?
yeah. What?
Was that the Haiti Revolution? A book about the Haiti Revolution?
Revolution says spiritual revolution, conscience revolution.
Oh, okay.
Because when you see, you have information. If you do an interest to that item, I say I don't know the word. If you do an interest at that item, you look for a lot, and
Yes.
yeah, I look for a lot. I'm very happy. I don't have time to read all, but I collect.
You collect a
Yes,
lot, a lot of
yes, I
books.
collect for the moment. But you see that one? I show you. This is the beginning, or maybe I do it like that.
Oh,
You have here. They came before Columbus. Then I have another with the same title. They came before Columbus. This is the African population came in Africa, in America, before Columbus, and they built all the America, and they begin by Mexico City.
wow.
Mexico City, yeah, Mexico City, and there is African population, and they build America. This is my source. This is my source, but I'm very open. You know, I'm open
Yes.
because if someone came and tell me another version, I just ask him to prove. Voilà, no, to prove.
Yes.
Uh, yeah, because I say for the moment it's just book, and I try to not try, and I want and I hope to travel to check what I find in the book.
So you want to go to
It's very
Mexico?
interesting. It's very interesting. Yeah. Mm. Voilà, then you have Decade before Columbus. You know.
Wow, that is awesome.
Yes, very interesting. And you can find Frederick Douglass, but I think in the USA, we can find him. Can find him
Yeah, there's a
for
lot of
me.
information about Frederick Douglass and his debates.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's interesting. Maroon society is very interesting because you found a lot of you found all country where Maroon societies all run away because sometimes there is no a few little bands and some is different of the territory too. Yeah.
Yes.
And maybe you know that that book because I do a order to USA and they pay and they send me the book
through Amazon or through
maybe
the
you
mail.
know him. Maroon Society, Richard Price. This is the author. That one is good. It's a novel. It's a novel, but blood root cartoons, and it's in Virginia State in USA, and they talk about slavery and talk about Maroons also. And then this is my cousin who gave me a gift and offer me that book. This is the story of the slave, the last boat who leave Africa to America.
Wow.
The last boat. Yeah.
The
Clotilda. The name is Le Clotilda. May you find him on internet. Le Clotilda, the last boat.
Wow.
Then it was illegal. It was illegal because the slavery was abolished, and they continue to sell people, to sell African people.
Well, you know, the sad reality is there's still 36 million people in slavery today. Today, as we speak, sister, there's 36 million slaves on planet Earth.
6 million.
No, 36. 36 million.
36 million. Wow.
Today, right now, in 2019.
And they said 10 million.
Well, these are like everything from men, women, children. Like in Libya, Yemen, a lot of even in the United States, the sex slaves, and in England and everywhere. So, well, we got to wrap it up. We're at the hour mark of the show. Do you have?
Yes, it's finished.
Yeah, see, it goes by really quick. I told you, it goes by really quick. You thought it would be long.
Yeah, but it's okay.
But you're gonna come back on again, right?
Yes, if you want. But for the moment, it's what I have, and I have to work more. But I do a lot of things. So for the moment, is what I developed, and it's good. Yeah,
Can you
do postcards? This is the first product, and we do bags, and we do bags also, and put some products, maroons about bags. You know, this is
I have a message from the chat room from Sister Sandra. She appreciates seeing your book. A chatter in the chat room want to say she appreciates seeing your book and thank you. Oh,
thank you.
Yeah, I need you to send me the link in the Facebook Messenger so I can post a link on the video.
Yes, true. You can post it on Facebook. Thank you.
Yes.
Yes, and just to finish, this is some draw book for kids. You know, I don't know the word bande dessinée.
Illustration book.
It's illustrated. Yeah. Okay. This is the story about Maroon.
Can we see the picture? Can we see that picture again? The page on the picture.
Okay.
I like cartoons.
It's in the French language. Yeah, a Maroon. This is the second book, and you have the ones, the Maroons, the same title, and this is the illustrated, like you say.
Nice. I
Yeah,
like
for
that.
kids, and I have one, two, three. That is good. Yes, just to collect about them, and for the moment, this is my aim. And with the association, we do we do postcard. This is the first.
Wow.
See, you see? Sorry. No. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. Then I give you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you.
Greetings.
Thank you.
Blessing.
Bye.
Yes, sir. Bye bye. Yeah. Tell me more about it. I really thank you.
I
Bye.
thank you too, sister.
Yes, bye. Yeah.
All right, y'all. Thank you for joining me this morning. I know it's really early, actually. Um, please join me tomorrow at 5 p.m. Central Time, or not Central Time, Eastern Time. Sister Zaja Ali will be on. Um, got a great response from the video last night, the Mark from Anaheim, Carl Nelson show. Thank you, Al, for sharing that video. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you guys all for the continued support of the show and tuning in. I'm going to close it down. This is True Power's Mind. This has been TPIM SR Live. Today's date, June 14th, 2019, the year of our Lord. As always, live your life of integrity without hate, envy, or greed. And as always, brothers and sisters, let's try to be kinder to each other. Peace and power. I'm out.